Good afternoon, everybody. Just thought I'd jump in here, do a bit of a video of a topic that's extremely close to my heart, and that's emotional eating. You may or may not have heard of it before. I know for me, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have had a clue what it was. It wasn't until my life got extremely stressful and I made myself sick on many occasions from eating that I actually started to go, why? Why would someone make themselves sick with food just because they're stressed? So I started to look into it, and emotional eating, it's like a mental illness. It's a coping mechanism. It's a way to change our state of mind, change our physiology during times of stress. And that stress could be physical stress, emotional stress, mental stress, just stress, financial stress. And I guess when it comes to any kind of coping mechanisms, I'll always say, are they beneficial or are they negative? So today I really want to focus on emotional eating and really explain to you the ins and outs of it. And at the end of the day, the nuts and bolts is when someone emotionally eats, they're trying to change their state. They're trying to cope. And most of the time you feel like it's out of control because you're just like, I just want to eat. I want that chocolate. I want that sandwich. I'm going to have that sausage roll. Whatever it is, whatever's your go-to is usually a go-to. And I know for me it's toast, Vegemite on toast. Back when I was really, really bad, it used to be Zarraffa's drive-through, Macca's drive-through, stop at the IGA, get some apple pies and some ice cream and some honey-coated roasted cashews to go on top. And they were my go-to. Nowadays, when I'm really, really stressed, I'm aware that I'm doing it, and my self-pacifying abilities, my self-talk, it really helps me deal. But if I'm really, really stressed, then sometimes I won't fight it. But I'm a lot more aware of what I'm doing. So I wanted to talk to you all today and bring this to your attention, that when you're stressed, do you eat? Do you go for food? That's the first question. Comment below if you feel you do. If you do, what is your go-to? Most of the time we have a go-to. Sometimes people could just be that ravagingly looking for something to focus on that they would just shove anything in their mouth. So, firstly, do you do it? What is your go-to? I guess what I want to paint now for you is the cycle, the picture of when you emotionally eat, you are masking emotions of something else that you're not dealing with. And afterwards you feel really crap, like you're really down on yourself, not from the underlying situation, but from emotionally eating and eating a shit like a crap. You're probably bloated, you might have diarrhea, you might get constipated, you might want to put your fingers down your throat, you might just feel really, really down in the dumps and don't want to train, don't want to do anything healthy, and that could spiral a negative pattern that for the next few days, few weeks, few months even, that you stay off a healthy path as such. Or it could just be that once off. But those negative feelings are extremely strong and very powerful. And that's why it's always really important to nip it in the bud right when it's happening. So if you can feel yourself going, nah, on the way home, I'm going to stop, I'm going to get a milkshake, yep, I'm getting a pack of mint choc chip biscuits, or whatever it is, you can see yourself thinking about it. It's really important that you start to utilize and strengthen this self-talk tool. And being able to abstain from it gets easier and easier. And your self-talk gets stronger and stronger. And your ability to say no gets stronger and stronger. But it really starts with you being able to deal with issues on a day-to-day basis. So I know for me in the past, I could have been in a severely abusive relationship and my emotional eating was out of this world. And it was because I was not dealing with something that was happening behind closed doors. There was times when my emotional eating was really, really bad when I was preparing for a bodybuilding comp. And if any of you know much about bodybuilding comps, you severely starve yourself and you overtrain just to get your body fat percentage right down. Add in living, children, paying bills, working, then you're really, really stressed. So generally when people try to do a bodybuilding comp, things like this come to the surface. Any kind of additional, current stress becomes additional on top of your comp prep. So it really brought out mine. And there's just a couple of scenarios. So I wanted to sort of paint that picture for you all. So if you are an emotional eater, then start to look at this and go, okay, what part of my life am I stressed over? It could be money, it could be work, it could be your job, your dog could be sick, you could be fighting with your partner, it could be anything. But what I'm getting at is if you want to get to the root of emotional eating, if you want to learn ways to overcome it, then you've got to learn and come to the root cause of it. And most of the time, pretty much all the time, it is something like that. Or it could be something from your childhood, a coping mechanism that you learned way back when you were young. So something like your mum ignored you because she was too busy with her boyfriend or something like that, and they would give you pizza and chocolate and ice cream to keep you happy. That became your best friend. So then naturally, as you become an adult, that stays as your best friend. So to give it up is actually quite traumatic. So there's so much psychology behind it all, and it's quite in depth. Yet when you start to look at it and really see the big picture, then you can deal with it a lot better. So firstly, do you do it? What you go to? Then I get it. You feel shit afterwards, that cycle. And then you also really need to look at who else does it affect. When you're feeling really crap, when you're really, really stressed, who is it affecting when you're down? Your kids, your partner, your workmates, just you in general. Your ability to make healthier choices. You see, when you start to look at that and you start to be equipped with better choices and decision making, then you really want to overcome it. You really do. So I wanted to share with you all today that, like, for me to overcome it, it's becoming educated. Just actually accepting that I do it, that I did it, that I was so bad. And then looking at the facts of what it was doing to my body and how it was affecting those around me. So think about that. And if that's something that you do and you want some help with, then reach out, because there's always help, there's always education, and there's always ways around it. And I'm going to be sharing more and more little tips and subjects like this in here and on my Facebook page and on my business page and on my Instagram, just to bring out this awareness to people, because a lot of the times we don't know, and we don't know what we don't know. So have a little think, and happy for you to comment below your experiences with emotional eating, and if you even knew that you did it or not, and then also how it makes you feel after and who it affects, because it affects more than just you, and it's more than what you realize. And to overcome it can really, really better your quality of life, but also those around you. So thanks for watching, guys, and I look forward to chatting to you all soon about emotional eating.